This video is dedicated to Beth. Okay. She said, you should do this. So, okay, here's what I'm doing. Today I'm making the medical medium stir fry. And so, one of the first things I do is I juice a pineapple. And this is a particularly large pineapple. And I've already started juicing it. But here's my process. I juice the pineapple. And because this pineapple is particularly large, so I base the recipe for the sauce on how much juice I end up with instead of the recipe itself. If the recipe is like 2 cups, I'm like, well, I have 4 cups, I double it or whatever. So I've actually cleaned out the juicer. You can't tell because I only cleaned out the screen part because it gets clogged with the pineapple. I am not using the green cap. I am using in the juicer. Okay, can't do this with one hand. Okay. I am using the solid cap with, that's just pineapple going out there. So, and I don't, when I'm juicing pineapple, I shouldn't have done that because I don't keep it tightened all the way down. There we go. I keep it loose because pineapple pulp is so fibrous and it clogs up the juicer pretty quickly. Once I have it juiced, I take the excess pulp because there will be so much. I've even already cleaned it once, and so there's a little bit in here now. And then I strain it into here. So it just gets a lot of pulp, you know. That's just kind of how it is with pineapple. It's very pulpy, very, very fibery. But look at, like, this is, my hands are wet, but this pulp is so, it's like, this is it. Like this, all this pineapple, and you don't get, it's like not very much, but I think that one cut off a little bit. So it really gets the juice out with this. But oh my goodness, it does clog the juicer, and this is a really big pineapple. Okay, this is perfect. You can see how clogged it gets. I can see that's like so full, and I can push her in the pulp up here and like squish it down, but it's still really full. And usually after juicing a pineapple, I'll have to take apart the juicer to clean out the parts because the juice just gets, oh, you can kind of see it dripping back there. It starts to drip back there, kind of runs up into here, which is why I clean the juicer. So probably I should be cleaning it right now. I only have a couple more pieces, so I'm just gonna live with it because it's already happened. So I'm like, oh, it's fine. I know, I'm a great example. Do what I do. Once we reach this part, oh my gosh, look how much juice this pineapple made. That's incredible. You're just not gonna be able to get it to juice anymore. You can hear it squeaking. The juicer's like, please make it stop. And that's okay, because what you do is you just take this and dump it into here. So we've got the nut milk bag, and we just take the parts off. My arms got real hairy all of a sudden. Woo! And you kind of finagle it where you put. See, I only have 3 hands now instead of 1. So you just put the whole thing in the bag because it's so messy. It's such a messy process, as you can see. And then piece by piece, you kind of take it apart, let the pulp all fall into the bag. You just keep taking it apart. Mess. Okay, and then once you have all the pulp scraped off, you probably don't need to do that part because that's fine. Because it's just pulp. It's not gonna, And then you squeeze the juice out of the nut milk bag. This is like a crazy one. I've never had a pineapple this big, I don't think. I've never made this much juice out of one pineapple. This is gonna be a huge recipe of sauce. It might even make 2 stir fries. Here, now I'm going to show you this because since we're doing it anyway. So I already kind of wiped off the bottom part. I wiped off these parts just so, because they're already sticky, right? But a lot of times what'll happen is after I juice a pineapple, no matter how well I try to clean it externally, the juice kind of gets in there and this will stick. So we just preemptively take it apart. It's really dark in here. Also, this guy's really tall. Hard for him to bend down and see these. So these are the pieces. It's 2 pieces. They do come apart, but I only have one hand that I'm doing this with. And then it comes off like that, so that you can clean this area. Can you take that apart? I can't do it. So then you can clean this area. There we go. Here we go. 2 pieces. So you can clean the front and the back and get it all clean. So then you put these back on here. You just have to make sure they line up. And it's great because it just sits on there. And then you can put the screws back in. We have a little screwdriver, this little dealy here. It's just a little short one. And it's just so that we can keep it right here in the drawer by the juicer. So that when we need to take apart the juicer, we're not like, where's the screwdriver? Because we have a ton of screwdrivers in this house. So between us and my mother-in-law, we have all the screwdrivers. Anyway, so I'm going to do this. Right. So here we have the pineapple juice. And here we have the recipe for the sweet and sour, which is in the medical medium book, the revised and expanded edition book. And so I'm going to, the recipe calls for 1 cup of pineapple juice. And I have almost 6, almost 6 cups. You probably can't see the numbers, but it's almost 6 cups. Let's call it 5 because of the, I don't know. We're just going to call it 5 cups. And so I'm going to quintuple. I'm going to make 5 times 5. I'm going to quintuple the recipe is what I'm going to do. So here we go. I'm about to juice some limes because it needs 10 tablespoons of lime juice since I'm quintupling the recipe, right? So I just thought I'd show you I actually have some semi-ripe limes, which is really cool because they have the yellow on them and sort of this one and kind of that one. So the rest, whatever, medical medium said we can still eat them green, and that's fine, or juice them green. Anyway, so that's what I'm about to do, is juice all the lime, not all of them, but 10 tablespoons worth of lime juice of them. All right, 5 limes in. Let's see how many we got. 1, 2. Oh, it smells so good. And I'm doing a mono cleanse, so I won't be eating any of this, but it is a staple. 3 in our home. 4, 5. These are all a little small, so 6. 7, 8. This is really hard to do with one hand, you guys. 9. I'm calling this 10 because some of those were low. That's amazing. That was 10. Oh, wow. 5 limes in. I thought I was going to have to juice more, but that was 10 tablespoons. So we are on to the next ingredient. Grated ginger. And I have And yeah, my little ginger grater. I love this thing. It's a little ceramic grater. Medical Medium used to have it on his website. Now he's got a different one, but I have this one. Okay, so I eyeball things. So 5 teaspoons of ginger, probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if I kind of go up to the edge of that nub, which I will do, it's going to use most of this hunk of ginger. Oh, the ridiculous lengths I just went to do this. Okay, I just wanted to show you how I grate the ginger. It's so goofy that I just did all this. This is one of those oddly satisfying. I could have had the ginger grated and all the stuff made with the amount of time it just took me to do that. Trying to rig up this system here. It's not a great system, but this is how I grate the ginger. It takes a while, but it's a meditative process. So I just be mindful and think about how I'm connecting to my food. Then when it gets a little full, kind of go like that. Dump it in. I usually only have to do this one time because I'm not usually quintupling the recipe, but today's a new day, and I am. I used to blend this all together, like throw it in the blender and just let it do the work. But then Medical Medium, I think in one of his cooking shows, he was talking about how when it's all blended together, you don't taste the individual flavors of things. I'm going to break this off and just do this piece right now. Actually, I'm going to cut off these threads. And when you, ouch, okay, don't grate your finger. Don't be like me and grate your finger. So then when you just have the individual ingredients, you know, grated up, chopped up, and whatever, you can taste all of the layers of the different flavors. And I thought, oh, I love that. And also I thought about how grating or chopping, you know, like just all of the things that we do for food prep, right? We really are connecting with our food. And where does our food come from? Who put this food here on this planet for us? Well, if you're like me, you might say God did. So connecting with the food is like connecting with God's creation, right? And so when I think of the food, of connecting with the food as being like connecting with God's creation, I just think, oh, that takes it to a whole nother level. So if you think, what am I doing that's spiritual when I'm just making food? And it's like, are you kidding me? What aren't you doing that's spiritual when you're just making food? Look at that, it's gorgeous. Oh, it's so nice. You're connecting with God's creation. I mean, we are also God's creation. But by this, I mean, it's like taking it to another level. And just think of all the love that you're infusing this food with when you make it for your family. Oh my gosh, what a gift. Here's another little thing I do. Okay, because this grater, the last bits of the ginger get kind of caught in the grater. Let's move this closer. I take it and I dip it in the liquid, and usually that works, but I've been grated so much ginger I dip it in the liquid, and usually the liquid like just takes it right off. I think I've grated so much ginger that it's like embedded in there kind of more firmly. Anyway, okay, now we can move on to, I think the garlic is next. Recipe calls for 1 teaspoon of grated garlic. I don't grate it, I chop it. And I figure 1 teaspoon roughly equals a clove. Also, that just doesn't seem like enough, but okay. So that's 5 cloves. I'm gonna do 6 because I like things garlicky. I'm not even eating this. I don't know why, but but anyway, I'm gonna do the garlic. This is my little mini cutting board that I use just for garlic and onions, so that this cutting board does not taste like garlic and onions. You know how medical medium showed us. I mean, I've been doing it this way for a long time. I was like, yay, I do it right. Made me happy when he showed us that. The heel, I just want to point out, I don't know what it looks like to the camera, but the heel of my hand is only touching this part of the blade, the back part of the blade. It doesn't get anywhere close to the blade. Also, my knife is dull. It really is. I'm gonna peel the garlic. Do you want to watch me peel garlic? No. We're gonna fast forward to the next part. The garlic is peeled. And now I chop the garlic. Thought it was peeled. And why I don't grate it, I don't know. I think maybe this is faster. I'm not even entirely sure. But garlic is smaller than ginger, and my fingers get a little bit close to the grater. And I just find that chopping, well, that doesn't happen with chopping. So, and I do this chop. All right, so then we have half to 1 teaspoon of red pepper flakes. This is not even this brand. These are actually red peppers that I grew my own self and chunked up into red pepper flakes. And so I'm not going to do 5 whole teaspoons. I'll do 5 kind of 3/4 half teaspoons. I eyeball stuff. There we go. Yum. It made a little heart. I didn't even know. I didn't mean to do that. But look at that. It made a little heart. Oh, I love my family. I normally don't measure the maple syrup and I just dump it in. However, this is 10 tablespoons and I'm not entirely sure how to eyeball that. So 1. Also, I always put more. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, until I bum the heart. 9, 10. Now it's a heart of maple syrup. Well, okay. Because that's how I roll with maple syrup. So then we're looking at the tomato paste. And I already have an open jar, so I'm going to start with that. So it's 10 tablespoons. And again, I eyeball because how else am I going to put it here? We're going to call that 2. Maybe we'll call it 3, actually, looking at how much is in the jar. We're gonna call this 3. Muffins, it's Mama. You don't need to bark. That's Mama. See, look. See, that's Mama. Nobody's knocking at the door. No stranger danger. I thought I was filming. I just did 5 tablespoons of arrowroot flour. And now I'm gonna mix it. Thought I was filming and I wasn't. So I'm just gonna whisk it. Oh my gosh, this is so full. It's not usually this full. Oh, this will be fun. Whee! That was just gravity in my kitchen, which is particularly strong. Things do fall a lot. My kitchen has very strong gravity, stronger than other parts of the world. Now, this is the one thing about chopping up the garlic. Maybe this is why they say don't chop the garlic, grate the garlic. It's because you get chunks in here and you're like, is that garlic or is that arrowroot flour? That one is arrowroot flour. Obviously, you don't want chunks of things that aren't garlic. All right, voila. That's it. That's the sauce. And then now we go on to the chopping of the vegetables, which I will, so I cut up mushrooms. Oh my gosh, this is heavy. And broccoli. And colorful, gorgeous bell peppers that are yellow and orange. The recipe calls for red. I had red too. I just wanted to make it colorful. Asparagus. This is what I put in the stir fry. It's not necessarily the ingredients. And then in my Instant Pot container, which I will have to bring over here because my camera is stationary now, I have onions and carrots. And those get sauteed first. Oh, that is a strong odor. The onions smell strong because I had the lid on the Instant Pot. So I'm going to start cooking. Okay. So the reason I cook this in my Instant Pot, and this is the way I do it, I just hit steam on the Instant Pot, and that's how I cook it. And then I follow the directions, and I don't put the lid on until later. And I don't put the lid all the way on, and I'll show you all of that. The reason that I do this and cook in my Instant Pot is because I don't have a stove. There is one upstairs. It's not mine. And it's a pain in the butt to bring all my ingredients upstairs to cook. So anyway, we cook down here in the Instant Pot, and I've got a toaster oven, and that's what I cook in. Instant Pot, toaster oven. And if we want to cook a big tray of things, we will take it to the oven upstairs. But so anyway, this is going to saute. And I'll show you more once it does. All right, now we have the point where it's looking, the onions are starting to get clear. And so what I do is drop a bunch of broccoli on the floor, and then the rest I dump into the Instant Pot. And at the same time, I like to drop the mushrooms in because the mushrooms will create a lot of liquid. And so we let that cook a bit. I'm going to mix this up. I can't do it with one hand, so I'm going to mix this up. Okay, I got it mixed up. I got it on steam, just in case anyone else likes to cook in their Instant Pot. I got it on steam. And then what I do, I don't put the lid all the way on, but what I do is I just sort of set it on top so it's not beeping at me or anything. I just kind of set it on there like that. And then I'm going to let this cook a little bit, maybe about 10 minutes, and then I'll add the asparagus and the red peppers. The thing is that this will cook down a little bit. The mushrooms will cook down, the broccoli will cook down. So that makes more room in the Instant Pot, because as you can see right now, it's pretty full. but it makes more room. Quantities, I don't know. I used a Costco sized package of mushrooms and like 2 heads of broccoli, and yeah, there's like 1 onion and 3 carrots in there. So I don't know. That's my quantity for this. That's what the Instant Pot can hold, is basically how it goes. If you're cooking in larger containers, you know, in big skillets on the stove or a wok or something, you can probably get more in there, but that's what this can hold. My little, I think it's 6 quart. I don't even know. This, my Instant Pot. I love this thing. Learned how to cook in this in the RV because, again, the stove was propane and I wasn't going to be cooking on a propane stove, so I did the toaster oven and the Instant Pot. And so when we moved into here and are using the wet bar as a kitchen, I was already prepared to use the Instant Pot and the toaster oven to cook. I knew how to do it. Okay, things have cooked down to a level that, as you can see, that's much lower, and now we can fit more things in the Instant Pot. Yay! So we're going to fit the peppers and the asparagus. Beautiful. And I'm gonna mix them around like this. So you can hear everything's sizzling. I'm gonna let this cook for maybe, once I get it all mixed up, I'm probably gonna let it cook for maybe like 10 more minutes before I add the sauce. Oh, sorry. Okay, 10 more minutes. I just poured about half of the sauce into the Instant Pot because usually that's about the amount this kind of size of a recipe needs. It's about half of what I just made. I like to do, this is not part of the recipe, but we like to add the organic fancy vermicelli. I add 2 packages to a batch this size, and I can't do this with one hand, so I'll show you in a minute. So here's what I do. I pour the package in, and then I make sure the noodles get under the sauce. Again, I am going to require 2 hands, but I'm trying to just show you that this is what I do. I get them under the sauce. Oh, maybe I can do this with one hand. Am I? Am I? Let's see. So in order to make sure they get under the sauce, I then heap the vegetables over top of them to help keep them submerged into the liquid. And then, oh, I did it. Oh my gosh, magic. These noodles are great because they really don't stick together a lot, so you don't have to worry too much about them. I mean, a little bit. You gotta pay attention, but they're not like other pasta. Okay, and so then what I do, then I turn it off. I again set the lid gently on it, and I let this sit for about 15 minutes, and then it'll be done. That's it. It's my whole thing. So here we go. It's been about 15 minutes at least. And as you can see, the noodles are, you know, you want to separate them, but they actually separate pretty easily. Although it is tricky when you pick them up out of the pot and, you know, to serve them. Oh, now they're staying. But usually they like slide off, and it can be interesting. So we use like tongs for the noodles and a ladle for the vegetables. Usually I'm just trying to separate some of these, which again is one-handed task, a little bit tricky. So there you have it. That's it. That's the whole deal. This is the Chota version of the medical medium stir fry recipe. My family loves this recipe so much. I make it so frequently that it's just like I have a routine about it now, which I showed you, and I love this recipe, and my family loves this recipe. So they're always happy when they're like, what you making? And I'm like, stir fry. And they're like, okay.